Chinese leader Xi Jinping is in Russia meeting with President Vladimir Putin. It's a sign of China's growing power and could signal a deeper conflict with the U.S. and its allies. The visit comes after the International Criminal Court issued an arrest warrant for Putin on Friday, saying he's responsible for war crimes in Ukraine. NBC's Matt Bradley reports.
Well, so far the reaction here in Kyiv to this really momentous visit by Chinese leader Xi Jinping to Moscow has been rather muted. We've heard very little. We asked for comments from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and they said they wouldn't be commenting until after the visit and probably until after a proposed but not confirmed phone call between Xi Jinping and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky following this visit that's supposed to come this week. But again, that hasn't been confirmed. It seems as though Kyiv, like diplomats throughout the world and leaders throughout the West, are kind of in a wait-and-see mode, trying to see what comes out of this really momentous meeting, whether or not there's another offer for a peace plan, as we saw last month when Chinese leader Xi Jinping offered some sort of peace plan that was rejected by Kyiv and the West as being too favorable to Moscow, or whether or not Xi will offer weapons to Moscow. That would be a paradigm shift in this war, because we've seen Vladimir Putin has been going around the world to his few remaining allies, trying to find those who would be willing to give him weapons to beef up his military that has been so degraded in this now more than year-long war here in Ukraine. It seems as though Xi Jinping wants to try to project themselves, China, as some sort of honest broker between both sides. Now, whether or not that leads to some sort of rapprochement between Ukraine and Russia, well, that's yet to be seen. Right now, it looks like folks here in Kyiv are hoping that there is some daylight between Moscow and Beijing, the kind of daylight that they can exploit and cleave some sort of opening for Ukraine in this very tight relationship between these two men. Matt Bradley, NBC News, Kyiv, Ukraine.
Meanwhile, Ukraine's allies are stepping up their support. The State Department announced today that the U.S. will send Ukraine $350 million in weapons and equipment, including ammunition, rockets, and vehicles.